Welcome to WJ Live, where we equip listeners with the truth. My name's Josh Manning, Deputy Managing Editor for the Western Journal. Today I'll be joined by George Upper, Andrew J. Sciascia, and special guest Diamond and Silk. We'll talk about Tuesday night's debate, the role of faith in the election, and Diamond and Silk's new book, Uprising. Diamond and Silk, thank you so much for being here on WJ Live.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
We're thrilled to have you. We're excited to talk about your book, Uprising. We were talking about the cover before we went on the air here. Absolutely love it. So we were trying to decide what we were going to talk about this morning, and if the debate was pretty vanilla, we would have moved on, but that is still the talk of the town. We're curious what you ladies thought about it.
First of all, I thought President Donald J. Trump did a phenomenal job. I looked at Chris Wallace and I looked at Jim Crow Joe Biden. It was like they were trying to double team President Trump, and President Trump had to become the protector and defender of America, our veterans, our military, and our police department and all Americans. So if anyone wants to know who's on your side, it's President Donald J. Trump, because Jim Crow Joe, he doesn't have a clue. No, Jim Crow Joe was acting like a moron, exhibiting moronic behavior.
That's right. He had no solutions.
Well, that's what, we were discussing this afterward. I was talking with somebody, and I don't recall a single solution that he suggested. He called President Trump a clown and told him to shut up. That's what I took away from it. I didn't take away any solutions from him.
Well, yeah, Jim Crow Joe called the president that. But here's the deal. Jim Crow Joe is the clown because he's the one been clowning around for the last 47 years in government.
That's right.
Skimming from the top and leaving people left at the bottom. Now who's the clown?
That's right.
That's good.
This is why we love having you on this show.
I think, not to mention the fact that, he exhibited all of those establishment tendencies to play both sides of the issue the entire night. How can you come up with a solution when you're playing both sides?
Well, you have to understand, he's a career politician.
That's right.
This is what they do. And this is why President Donald J. Trump was elected, because we didn't want another career politician. We wanted a businessman who had the master plan to truly make this place great again. And he's already done that.
And the sad thing is you had Jim Crow Joe. He was able to rehearse his lines and rehearse what he was going to say. He also looked down at the paper and mimicked what he was about to say. Well, how are you mimicking what you are about to say if you don't know what the next question is going to be? Unless somebody done talk to somebody to let you know what was coming up.
Allegedly.
That's right.
Yeah, he did try to walk a fine line between not alienating the radical left and not alienating a large part of his base, which just denies AOC's reality, does not think the Green New Deal is going to be useful or helpful. And somehow Biden's got to appeal to both sides of that. It didn't appear to me like he did a very good job of that.
But see, when you're a puppet on the string, you'll do anything.
That's right.
And that's exactly what he did.
The puppet masters are pulling his strings, like the AOC, like China, like the WHO, and everybody on the left. You know what? It is so sad when you look at the DNC, when you look at these Democrats, how they are taken, and they are really, this is what we call elderly abuse.
Yes.
They are abusing this man because he is incoherent.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a clue. He been sitting up hiding in the basement. He want to talk about hiding in a bunker. He's been hiding in the basement with a mask on. He should have been wearing that mask and that face diaper right on his face on stage to catch all of the lies and the BS that was coming out of his mouth.
That's right.
I thought that was pretty bold of him, accusing Trump of being in the bunker after 2 months of living in his basement. That was pretty raw.
I couldn't believe Trump didn't seize on it. But you ladies made a great point about Biden looking down at his notes, kind of with these scripted responses. You could tell some of these things as writers had come up with. And Trump always talks off the cuff. And I've always thought that that's because when he talks, he's talking about what he believes. So he doesn't have to have a big set of notes.
That's
Absolutely.
Right.
When Diamond and Silk talk, we don't have to have all of these papers. We talk exactly how we believe, and that's how President Trump is. Understand that they gave President Trump 2 minutes to answer these questions. I can understand the president's frustration. He's done everything in his power to make sure that America is great and stays great. From the very beginning of his announcement, he's been in the news every day, all day. The left with the Russia collusion witch hunt, the impeachment, the hoax of the impeachment, the pandemic and the scamdemic surrounding the pandemic. It's one thing after another thing, and people are tired of it. So I can understand his frustration. I can understand how he had the whole world on his shoulders because he's the only one taking up for the American people and for our country. Jim Crow Joe and them are not concerned about that. They're more concerned about China instead of America and the American people.
That's right.
I do want to point out, and I think this is important, that these two guys both have notes in front of them, whereas I'm just going from the cuff. So you can draw what any conclusions you think are appropriate there. I just wanted to make sure that was clear to our
Listen,
readers.
let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with
having notes.
Sure,
but when you have your response written down, how do you know what the question is going to be next?
Right.
I understand what the subject is, but how do you know what the question is?
Yeah.
Diamond and Silk pay attention to all details. That's why we have AI.
That's right. Pay attention to everything. Everything.
You don't miss anything. So shifting gears just a little bit, but still on the topic of the election. One of the themes that really underlies Uprising, your new book, that I found so powerful was the idea of God just being in control. Just, things look good, things look bad, God's in control. So I actually had a conversation last night with a friend. We have a Bible study in my house on Wednesday nights, and some of us are pretty political, some of us not so much. One of the people there actually said to me, I'm not registered to vote. I don't pay any attention to politics. And her attitude was essentially, God's in control. Why do I need to do anything? And I thought, thank you for saying that to me, because I'm going to ask Diamond and Silk tomorrow morning how they would respond to that statement.
Well, here's how I respond. Yes, God is in control. And rejection is always God's protection. But there's a scripture that says faith without works is dead.
That's right.
So if you thinking something just going to drop in your lap, you have another thing coming. You have to work your faith.
That's right.
So her, as being a Christian, as being a person of faith, you need to look at who's going to look out for your religious freedom. It's only President Donald J. Trump. Because Jim Crow Joe Biden ain't looking out for no religious freedom. He could care less. You see how they took God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. That should have woke up everybody. So listen, this is what she need to do. She need to hurry up and get registered to vote and make sure she vote for Donald J. Trump, who's going to protect her religious freedoms. Is what she needs to do.
That's right. Yes, God is in control, but God also gave us all a brain to be able to think and think outside of the box and realize that a lot of these different legislations and different rules that's coming about, it affects our everyday living. Right. So if you want to change anything, you got to first change yourself and go and get registered to vote so you can vote for the right person that's best to do the job and protect your religious liberty.
That's right.
Oh, that's good. I'm going to make sure she watches this. She needs
make sure she watches it.
I'll do it. I'm going to do that.
Now, that out-of-the-box thinking that you were just talking about, it's very interesting that you bring that up, because in your book you talk about something that I found was incredibly interesting. Was you talked about the way that you were impacted as manufacturing workers by NAFTA, and you kind of bridge that into your discussion about Donald Trump. You talk about how the Republican establishment and the Democratic establishment were both involved in kind of selling the American people. The Republican establishment, we love free markets, but their strict adherence to unprotected commerce allowed them to kind of sell the American worker for cheap labor here with illegal immigrants, which is something you discussed. But the Democrats were willing to sell them in exchange for globalization. You say in the book directly, I want to quote you, "In reality, if an illegal alien wasn't taking your job was going overseas." Now, you're talking about unorthodox, unique leadership. Now, why were you drawn to Donald Trump and the fact that he was willing to address these issues that no one had ever addressed before in those last 20 years? I mean, Ross Perot for briefly, but how do you kind of get at falling into support for this president?
Wow.
Because you sort of answered the question because he started talking about it.
Yeah.
The light bulb went off like, oh my goodness, you know that happened right here. Listen, we were in the manufacturing, a part of that, and we saw how our jobs went overseas, and whatever was left, illegal aliens came in and took those jobs, and they told Americans to go back to school. You have to be retrained, only to go back to school, and now you're in all of this student loan debt.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people couldn't even go back to school. They lost their homes, they lost their cars, they couldn't feed their families. A lot of them was homeless, and we saw that actually happen. But whenever Donald Trump came down the escalators, and he was like, you know, bringing back the jobs and the illegal aliens, and in the process, we were like, wait a minute, this man have the solution to fix the issues that's been plaguing this country, especially the Black community.
And when you look at NAFTA, now that we sit back and we look at it and look at how they play games up there in Washington, how the swamp dwellers play games, how much money was given to who to really push that down the American people's throat, to sell us and leave us riding dirty, to sell us out like that.
That's right.
How much money did they get for that?
That's
and so let me tell you something, and I don't blame business owners for moving your businesses. The government should give incentives so that businesses can stay right here in America, so that the American people can thrive. So one thing I love about President Trump is about America first. I'm going to remove all of this regulation. I'm going to cut this red tape so these businesses can stay right here. Remember, Obama and his administration said, you will have to wave a magic wand. Well, I guess that magic wand must have been President Donald J. Trump.
That's right.
So as an assignment editor for the Western Journal, I sit here listening to you say all of these pithy things, and I keep thinking about headlines that I can run with your quotes in there. So I'm going to have to review the tape and actually get some material for the website as well. Have you always, just as an aside, have you always been this pithy? I mean, you guys can turn a phrase like that.
Wait a minute. Listen to me. We don't mean to be that way. This is
well,
why we love us.
No, it's a compliment.
We get up being honest every day. This is what happened when you're just honest and candid about something. It just flows out of you. We don't rehearse it. We don't think about it. It just comes out like that. The one thing that I love is that we can be ourselves. We're not robotic talking heads. We're truth tellers.
That's right.
So you're not going to see me like we're journalists on the news and they have to, no. I don't know how to stick to a script. No. Here's the script for me. This is the truth. This is the naked truth, and that's all I can go on.
That's right. We don't have to get ready. We stay ready.
That's right.
See, just like that. Just like that. We don't have to get ready. We stay ready. So you brought up, talking about NAFTA, you brought up money and big money. It made me think of a quote from Joe Biden's brother. We're actually doing a piece on this today where, I don't know if you know this quote. One time Joe Biden's brother said, hey, we are getting people to invest in Joe Biden. We have 747s, giant airplanes full of cash ready to invest in Joe Biden. And Trump hit Hunter Biden hit Joe Biden with Hunter Biden and the $3.5 million and Burisma over and over. I mean, do you think Biden is just in this for the money? Do you think, what do you think about that?
I think Biden is just in this for his own benefit.
Yep.
He's been in government 47 years.
Half a century.
And done nothing for America or the American people. If he's done it, name me one. Name me one thing that he's done that was good and great for this country.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be able to do that.
I've been saying this here. You know, back in the day, black men, ballers, rappers, shot callers, all of them wanted to be just like Donald J. Trump. You name me one black man that ever wanted to be like Jim Crow Joe Biden. Name me one. He's done nothing. Listen, let his track record speak.
That's right.
All right. He stood on the Senate floor, wrote a crime bill that decimated the black family and the black community, okay? Call black people predators. Use the N-word. said he did more to the bill than hang them. I reached across the aisle to a segregationist. He didn't have to reach far because it was right there in the Democrat Party.
That's right.
Was hand in hand with a former KKK member. What good has he done for America?
That's right. And keep in mind that President Donald J. Trump gives his check away.
That's right.
He gives his pay away. How much pay have Jim Crow Joe given away?
Oh, he ain't gonna get nothing
But
away.
we can
He
show
gonna
how
take.
much he took.
That's
Yeah,
right. And his
exactly.
son took.
That's right.
Yeah, his net worth has skyrocketed over those 47 years. Donald Trump has lost money every year. That's actually one of the fun things about the New York Times piece is they're talking about what a bad businessman he is and how he's lost money. And it's like, well, he's lost money since he's been in the presidency.
Let me tell you something. President Trump, y'all don't have to do none of this. We don't need to take him for granted because it ain't gonna ever be another President Donald J. Trump that will stand up to all of this scrutiny and this tyranny that they're trying to do and push down our throats and on this country. He don't have to do this. He give his money away. He left his good life to come into this here swamp to try to clean it up. So I say that because I want people to appreciate what this man is doing. It's just like a boyfriend. People get so used to the boyfriend doing you wrong, you think it's right. You're so used to being done wrong. People just wanting your vote and using you when only they need a vote. You think that's right. And somebody that comes along and they can do in 4 years what somebody ain't never done in 47 years, you want to call that racist? Oh, I beg to differ. They got all of this wrong. It's like they want us to take our right shoe and put it on our left foot and say it's right. And then take our right shoe and put it on our left foot and say that's right. When it's all wrong. You better look at who's doing something for you, who's standing up for you, and who's taking up for America or Americans. Because if Jim Crow Joe get in office, he is going to fundamentally change this country for the worse. You're going to be living the American nightmare, not the American dream.
And now you've spoken about the complacence of this political establishment, of the political elites in Washington. I think part of this also, though, has to do with the American people. There are certain folks and voters who have gotten complacent as well. And you see that your book, Uprising, is all about your journey from kind of stepping in and being aware of this kind of complacent nature in politics and waking up and taking the journey to ditch the Democratic Party and switch to the Republican Party and support Donald Trump. Now, something that I find incredibly interesting is that everyone, and you get at this, everyone who seems to do that gets absolutely slandered and misrepresented and attacked by the media and by that left-wing complex. You say in your book, our critics, who claim to be civilized and more enlightened than us deplorables, called us coons, Uncle Toms, and sellouts. They marginalized us, criticized us, and stigmatized us. And when that failed, they tried to assassinate our characters and ruin our reputations. Now, we've seen that with Donald Trump. We saw that in 2018 with Brett Kavanaugh, but these folks were establishment folks, or at least politicians in the case of Donald Trump. But we saw this in 2008 with Sarah Palin. We saw this more recently with Vernon Jones. Anyone who steps out of what the Democrats have established for them, the way that they're supposed to think, is attacked. Why should people risk that? And how can they be brave enough and bold enough to risk those slings and arrows to do what's right and to think for themselves?
You should risk it because that's the only way change is going to come.
That's right.
By calling out the left.
If you keep doing the same old thing, you're going to keep getting the same old results.
You know, sometimes the left, they get complacent and they think what they're doing is right. It's not right for you to demonize somebody for having a train of thought, for wanting to think outside of the box. That don't choose to go along with the liberal ideology. And we talk about the ideology, the liberal ideology in the book Uprising. You all can go over there to Diamond and Silk Bookstore.com to get the book. And when you order it from there, you're going to get a signed autograph copy. Diamond and Silk Bookstore.com. But we talk about the liberal ideology even in the book.
That's right.
So you should speak up. You have to have courage. If nobody have courage, do you see what's happening now when you see these Democrat ran states and ran cities. They're trying to keep their states closed.
Yep.
All because of this political, I guess their political bias.
Yep.
And this will flatten the livelihood
That's
and
right.
the lives of the American people.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing now. If nobody stand up and speak out, we're not going to have any freedoms.
Yep.
They're not going to go about the Constitution. This won't be a republic.
right.
We will be a communist, socialist country.
That's right.
Somebody has to have the courage to speak out.
And just look at it right now, how the Democrats have pushed the Republican Party into a corner.
Right.
And called the Republican Party a racist to the point that white people in the Republican Party is scared to speak out.
Right.
But guess what? The last time I checked, Diamond and Silk are black women. We are the new face of the Republican Party. You call me a racist, I'm going to call you a racist right back.
That's right.
You can't call me a white supremacist because I'm a black woman. You are the Democrat Party is the party of racism, KKK, Antifa, Jim Crow, and Black Lives Matter.
That's right.
Same script, different cast.
They the one reaping havoc in the street.
That's
it's not
right.
conservatives out there. It's
That's
not
right.
Republicans out there
That's right.
breaking out windows and breaking into stores
That's
and
right.
committing crimes. Those are straight Democrats that's out there in the
That's
street.
doing that.
Those are Joe Biden supporters.
That's right.
That's why we calling it Joe Biden's America. These
That's
are your
right.
supporters. Why don't you get your supporters in line?
That's
so
right.
if you can't get your supporters in line now,
Yep.
imagine if he ever take the White House.
That's right.
Mhm.
So we as the American people, we have our own mouths to speak for ourselves.
Right.
We got to open it, use it, and start speaking out.
At WJ Live, we talk about our motto is to equip readers with the truth. I want today to give you the opportunity to equip our readers with that boldness. I mean, how you've spoken on why it's important, but how do people get as bold and as brave as you are in doing this?
Understand it, take courage. The first step is to speak it. If I wouldn't have never opened up my mouth, it wouldn't have never got spoken.
Yeah.
You have to speak it out. Now, sometimes you may be scared to speak it out, so I'm going to give you an assignment.
Yeah.
Get you a nice little journal
Uh-huh.
and write it out first, how you feel.
Oh,
then
that's
get in
good.
front of a mirror and speak it out as if you were speaking to the world.
That's
That's
right.
preparing you
Yeah.
so when you get ready to speak, nothing will harm you to roll right off of you.
That's
Sticks
right.
and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt. The more they hate, the more we continue to educate.
Yep.
We let everybody know we can no longer vote for a system that keeps handing us crumbs,
That's right.
that want to hand us tyranny, that want to put socialism and communism down our throat.
That's right.
I say this here, and I've been saying it lately. When people from Venezuela and Cuba come to this country, they come because they have a place to run to. If we, as patriotic Americans, allow this anarchy and this his foolishness, this chaos and confusion to happen in our country, where are we going to run?
Where?
We have no place to run.
Right.
Why? Because we are the greatest country on earth.
That's right.
It's time for people to stand up and start being pro-America and start speaking out.
And let's talk about fear for a moment. It's false expectations appearing
That's
real.
right.
The only thing behind the curtain is a little man pulling some strings. It's not as big as they want to make it appear.
That's right.
So don't be scared, you all. Walk through the fear of the unknown.
That's right.
Well, I think that's one of the things your book, Uprising, is exactly about. I love the subtitle, Who the Hell Said You Can't Ditch and Switch? And I have a question for you along those lines. One of the lines I loved in your book, you said black people in 2016 were talking about being in chains still. You said they didn't realize that the more you stay chained to the system, the more you miss out on opportunities, blessings, and freedoms that exist around you. Do you feel like Black America is waking up to this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Also, we also mentioned something about systemic racism, because that's been a topic in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of what happened with George Floyd. And let me explain to you all our thoughts when it comes to systemic racism. Systemic racism, no color. It's not about skin color. It's about discrimination. It's about discriminatory practices within the systems. Now, who put those systems in place? Who owns Hollywood? Who owns most of the media? These are white, left-leaning liberals, like a Jim Crow Joe Biden. So let me tell you something. When we talk about these here, if you continue to stay chained and believe in affirmative action, affirmative action discriminates. I don't care if it discriminates against a white person, it could discriminate against a black person. Why would you have those systems put in place like that?
That's right.
So when we talk about that, staying stuck and staying chained, stop staying chained to something that wants to keep you in the pains of the ancestors, that wants to keep you in stuff that's discriminated. And how about breaking away, calling it out, breaking away from that so that we can move this country forward. I'm thank God that the ancestors, the Martin Luther King, they fought for civil rights.
Right.
But now it's time to fight for equal rights. How about we have equal rights? Why don't we drop the skin color and just call ourselves Americans?
That's right.
That's what I would like to see in this country.
That's right. And even also when I look at, just the other day I saw a black man say something about how the ghetto, he don't recall the ghetto ever being great. Well, President Trump's motto is make America great again, not make the ghetto great again.
That's right.
The ghetto ain't never been great.
It
wasn't designed for it to be great.
That's right.
That's why you keep seeing what you're seeing in the ghetto. It's up to you as the individual to get outside of the ghetto so that you can catch a hold to the American dream. The ghetto was designed to keep you confined right there in the same rut.
That's right.
Looking really messed up.
That's right. So listen, if you got those bootstraps, pull yourself up by your straps. And if you ain't got no straps, go create you some.
That's
and
right.
if you don't have a job, go create you a job. I don't want to hear it no more. I'm tired of I don't have this, I don't have that. But you still want to vote for the same system that keeps you not having what you need.
That's right.
So this is excellent. We're going to be busy for days making memes out of the things you ladies are saying.
Make sure you use our pretty pictures. We'll have our assistants send you over.
Were we talking about this before we went on air or not? It's a great cover.
We're not going to use our pictures for any of that. I promise you. That's
no reason
We're definitely going to use you.
So let me ask you one more question. It ties in with exactly what we were just talking about. We were looking at some polling the other day, and we think that the media is making an enormous mistake. With all of these polls, they are still weighting African-American responses at about 90% Joe Biden. And we just don't think there's any way that represents reality. From your seats, what do you see?
Listen, I see Black people waking up and smelling the coffee. I see them really understanding that they've been played, hoodwinked, and bamboozled. Every 4 years, here come these leftist politicians, career politicians wanting their vote, promising them everything, but delivering nothing.
That's right.
So I believe that they are waking up. We keep telling people, don't focus on the poll. Focus on the goal. We are going to win. I think that President Trump is going to do phenomenal when it comes to Black America, when it comes to all America. We want to keep our peace. We want to keep our prosperity. We want to keep our low unemployment numbers. We want to keep our home ownership at an all-time high. We want to keep everything that this man has offered to America. So why would we take and vote for somebody that ain't done nothing for America?
That's right.
We're not going to take a nosedive. We're going to stick with President 45.
So make sure you vote right so you won't get left.
That's right.
Vote red.
R-E-D. Remove every Democrat and vote for Donald J. Trump.
That's right.
Now, that actually segues me in. We had a brief conversation just a moment ago. This is the last question that I personally had for you, was you talk throughout the book as you talk about your journey from ditching the Democratic Party and switching to the Republican Party to support Donald Trump. You talk about the importance of family, of faith, of self-motivation and empowerment, of talking about responsibility and exchanging victimhood for being a victor. I mean, those are all wonderful things. Unfortunately, they're not things that the culture teaches young people are sexy or interesting or exciting in any way, shape, or form. I mean, how is the conservative movement, how is the Republican Party supposed to sell these values that make life better but might not be sexy in the eyes of the culture?
whenever you have people that represent those values, make sure they are seen more, and not put the same old people with the same old talking points and the same old delivery in the forefront. That's what the Republicans and the Republican parties need to do. There's more people out there that think just the way Diamond and Silk, but it was not politically correct. Let me tell you something about Diamond and Silk. We will never be politically correct.
Never.
We are politically direct.
That's right.
And what we say, and we mean exactly what we say. Now you have those that's in the closet. They may hide that may even throw daggers and love what we say because we're telling the truth. But this is what the Republican Party is going to have to do. You're going to have to become inclusive. You're going to have to open the door, and you're going to have to let the public see, hey, we have more representation of the Republican Party here. It's not just the same old conservative that want to hide in the shadows and want to be really modest and meek when they answer questions and not be real and forthcoming when they answer
And to tell you the truth, I believe wholeheartedly that if it wasn't for President Donald J. Trump, there would be no Republican Party.
Me too. They would not have won. A lot of people switched their party to Republican to vote for Donald J. Trump. That's why they switched. So he is the face of the Republican Party. He's doing a phenomenal job. He's draining the swamp. And I understand the parties is like being on two wings on one bird. I get that. That's why he's draining the swamp and getting rid of the rats that's clogging the pipes. Understand that. But I also understand that President Trump has been the most amazing president within these last 4 years. I am truly proud of him. We voted right. We betted right. We betted on Trump. And I tell people, while the left, continue to play the race card, we going to continue to play the Trump card so we can win.
That's right.
Ladies, that's a great note to end on. We're just about out of time, which we hate. This has been the best interview
we could do this. We'd get fired, but we could do this all day. There's no question.
Oh, wow.
The book is Uprising, again with my favorite subtitle ever, Who the Hell Said You Can't Ditch and Switch? Diamond and Silk are the authors. Ladies, again, where can they get the book?
Oh, they can get a signed autograph copy at diamondandsilkbookstore.com. So when they order, it will be a signed autograph copy that's sent to them directly from us. diamondandsilkbookstore.com.
I just found out this morning, I did not know this, that my father-in-law is a huge Diamond and Silk fan. So I just figured out my Christmas present for my father-in-law. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get the autograph copy today. But I really encourage people to get this book. It is so readable. If you like Diamond and Silk, and who doesn't, it's like reading them talking to you wherever you are. I mean, it just sounds like Diamond and Silk. It doesn't sound like it's been, stepped on heavily by an editor or anything like that. It is eminently readable and fun at the same time as being meaningful and informative. So I don't endorse a lot of books. I'm telling you to go get this one.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And we
really
wrote that book from the bottom of our heart.
Surely did.
It was time to tell our story.
Tell.
We were so honored and glad that we did.
Yeah.
Ladies, is there anything else you'd like to share before we say goodbye?
Yeah, you all know we have this show on Newsmax to come on every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this week's we're going to break down the debates. We're going to be talking about the ballot harvesting that Project Veritas discovered or unsealed. We're also going to be talking about the itch of the week. We have one every week. And we're going to be talking about Chrissy Teigen. Something went down where she had a miscarriage, but she was posting pictures all online. And because we asked a question, the left wanted to lose their mind. So we're talking about all of that on Newsmax TV this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Diamond and Silk, crystal clear.
Ladies, thank you so much for being here on WJ Live. We hope you will come back after this. We may see if you can you can just replace George and just be permanent co-host or something. Thank you again so much for joining us, and we look forward to next time we can visit.
All right, thank you for having us,
folks. As we wrap up today, I would be remiss if I didn't point out this wonderful mug that I'm drinking from. It's the only one in existence. I don't know if you know this, guys, but there is one of these mugs, and I have it.
An upgraded version.
It's an upgraded version. You do not have this mug. I have this mug. I'm the only one. However, yeah, bring it. However, you can get, not this mug, but one that looks just like it very soon. They are in production now. This literally is the prototype. But there's only one place that you can get it, and that's at westernjournal.com/join. This mug is available only to subscribers to the Western Journal. There are lots of other benefits to that subscription. Of course, it's not just a mug. Although, come on, it would be worth it if it were just a mug, wouldn't it? I mean, let's be honest. It says equipping readers with the truth on one side. It's got the WJ logo on the other. It's in our wonderful Western Journal blue. There's only one place you can get it. It's westernjournal.com/join. You can go there and see all of the other benefits to subscribing to the Western Journal. Reduced ad experience and lots of other things there. You don't want to miss it. It is not a lot of money. You're going to spend a few pennies a day, really, to get all of this value. So go check that out, westernjournal.com/join, and you can join me as a proud owner of this mug. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Samantha Johnson, and I'm the community manager for the Western Journal. Thank you for watching today's episode of WJ Live. Make sure to let us know what you thought in the comments below. And while you're at it, share us with your friends so we can get the word out. WJ Live premieres on Facebook Live every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. But you can watch anytime on westernjournal.com or on YouTube.